Okay. Let's wait for the stream to show up. Beautiful. All right. Good evening, everyone. This lovely Tuesday, August 12th at 7 p.m. I will go ahead and call the board meeting to order for this month. Feel free to check the description of the stream to follow along with our agenda this month, as well as fill out the attendance form if you would like this meeting to count toward meeting attendance. The first thing on our agenda is to recap off-cycle board actions and votes, of which we did not have any. It is summer. We are all busy. I'm just going to go with that. And then plan discussions from scheduled visiting partners / ATC partners. We also do not have any of those. So then I will go straight into our coordinator updates, starting with finance. Jeanette, knock yourself out.
Oh, so I get to go first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our checking balance currently is $335,924.20. In our educational fund, we have $3,098.47. In our community savings fund, we have $14,507.75. And that ends my report.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Then next up, I have Anime Detour. Go ahead, JC.
Hello, can everyone hear? Cool. So my actual paid job is killing me right now, so I have about 2 brain cells left, so I will keep this very brief. But progress is very good. I think we have a head of every department. I know. So things are progressing extremely well. Our next staff meeting will be Sunday, August 31st. I do not remember the location right now, but we will try to communicate it in all the usual ways.
Plymouth Library.
Say again?
Plymouth Library.
Plymouth Library. Email, Discord, etc. The way you usually learn about these things, and it should be on your calendar if you're a cool person and have an animedetour.com email. So find out more at that time. Thank you.
Okay, then next up, I have charities. Jacob is away on a work meeting, but did not really have any updates for us. So then moving on to Michaela with communications.
Howdy, it is so nice to see everyone again. Everyone can hear me. Perfect, beautiful. The only updates I really have is we did share that we are going to be participating in the Oban Festival at the Como Zoo. Make sure you got your tickets because you do need to purchase them beforehand. Other than that, we did update all of our logos to represent the new logo. The last one we have to update is the YouTube logo, but once that's done, we'll have everything updated.
All right, thank you. Then we will go ahead and go to Allie for special events.
We got some things going on for special events. So we've got Oban Festival and ExcaliburCon this weekend. So for the first time in a long time, we are doing 2 events on the same weekend. So Hope will be heading up, taking a group out to ExcaliburCon to represent Detour. And then a bunch of us will be heading to Como Park, much shorter trip than ExcaliburCon, to represent ATC, Anime Detour, and some of the other fun events we have coming up at Oban. So we also have, make sure that it's not cutting off, we have really cool new flyers that we'll be handing out at these events. They have a really fancy back too for the guest announcements. We also have some cool new stuff for the table. I've been getting some stuff replaced, refreshed, or just made when we didn't really have anything there for it. We also at Oban will be handing out flyers for Otaku Fest, which is the next thing that we've got coming up in September. So we were approached by an event organizer to put on an anime themed brewery event. in conjunction with Anime Fusion. So that will be September 20th. We're looking for help for that. We're also looking for trivia questions for that. If you're really good at writing trivia, please reach out because I'm not good at it. But we need trivia questions. We will also, coming up, have the awesome Jigsaw Puzzle event. We'll have some representatives out for that to represent ATC and all the cool stuff that we do. And we also have Anime Fargo coming up. And then a whole bunch more stuff after that, but this list is already getting kind of long, so we'll go into that in the next board meeting. I am definitely looking for people to help out with events, so if you are interested, please reach out. I'll get you the form to fill out, and we'll see if you'll be a good fit. We can always take you on one of these smaller local events and see how you do with it, see how you feel about it, and if you want to join up before you commit to something bigger. And I think that's pretty much it for me. Oh, we got a new tenant too. That's exciting. We got all kinds of cool new stuff for the tables and the festivals and everything. That's it.
Okay, and then one thing that Allie and I have been discussing is, we have our lovely Anime Detour, Anime Twin Cities calendar that's the same calendar, but it's on both websites. And so we've been putting all of the ATC specific events on it, but we haven't put like the ambassador events like Excalibur Con and Anime Fargo on it. Do you guys think we should do that?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Then we can do that. Lovely.
I will get all of those, Christina, after this meeting.
Wonderful. Okay. The next thing on our agenda is a 15-minute break, and we can vote to skip that.
I will second that motion.
Wonderful. Everyone in favor of skipping the break?
Don't forget
Yep.
to use the
Okay.
digital as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Raise your hand. Push the
Create
button.
the habit now.
Beautiful. Yes. Good idea. All right. I'll take it. All right. Then we are back with an updated rental request policy to review. So I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Wonderful. That looks pretty visible to me.
I don't want it.
So this first part, let's see. So they said they struck through stuff and then red stuff was new, but I feel like this must be new too.
They've
Uh-huh.
changed the name to just new relationships and established relationships. I think the
Okay.
rest of it is the same.
Okay.
Or maybe it is new.
I think it
Well,
should.
I mean, I think they kind of rewrote it. So new relationships, partner conventions, receiving equipment through this policy for the first time, which is what, yeah. And then these ones who we have loaned equipment before in a formal context. So I guess maybe when we had our old rental policy, but I don't know if anyone has any records from that or not. Continuing to build our relationships with our closest partners solidifies our ties to our community and allows us to cross borders and share ideas. Okay. Improving their trust, established partners are given more generous terms. Okay. So what do we think about new relationships, established relationships? Does that sound
I think
close enough?
I
Yeah.
think it simplifies it from what it was prior. So
Did we
Good to
do we
confirm.
want to have any are we gonna have everyone start from scratch, or those that we trust more we're just gonna automatically have it be established, or do we decide
No,
that?
everyone starts
Also,
relationships from
yeah.
scratch.
Yeah, and it says partner conventions who have loaned our equipment before in a formal context. So I guess how are we defining that?
I'm just gonna make the suggestion everybody starts at a new relationship, and then that clause is in there for once they're established.
That's my thought process too.
And that's just my buy-in as tech services group manager. So
And as written, they become established after a single rental.
Yeah.
I think it's up to the discretion of the
As
detour.
written, it's a single rental.
Just a grammatical. It should be partner conventions who have borrowed our equipment before.
Yeah. How am I? Oh, here, comments. Okay. Just like. Does that work? Because they have just in a formal context, which in my mind means before this policy. So using this policy, is this like a good sentence?
Yep.
Wonderful. Okay. So in addition to a signed rental agreement, the renting partner must furnish proof of liability insurance, at least covering twice the cost of the equipment. I think that's what we wanted. Yeah. This is still in here. Any final determination or approval of any part will be made by the chair.
Yeah, that's just basically a CYA if we want to tack on any additional stuff. So.
Okay. So no equipment will be rented out for any period of time, including
Okay.
any day in the 60 days before Anime Detour. Yes, Bruce.
I guess just because I wasn't initially here, what was the reasoning behind all partners are required to submit their prior year's total budget with their requests? No rental requests for more than 40% of a partner's prior year budget is to be able. Oh, okay.
Well, that's not new. That was in it already. But what we got rid of was the thing saying, well, if you already have a relationship with us, then we don't need this information. It's like, no, just make it even, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so no equipment will be rented out 2 months before the convention or 30 days after the convention. I think that's good. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. So one or more key users must be determined on the renting partner staff who will serve as the SME for the equipment. This should be someone familiar with the operation and upkeep.
Basically, think of it as like a technical point of contact.
Yeah. Grace period of 14 days. Following the return. All right. Sorry, I skipped ahead. All right. So this part, this first red paragraph is good. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Partners get 14 days at the end of the rental period to return their equipment. Okay. I don't know if this needs to say determined by their partnership level. Did we change? I'm gonna
Yeah,
scroll down here.
that changed. That just needs to be struck.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Following the return of the equipment, a grace period of 30 days will be allowed for inspection of the returned equipment by a person designated. This will be reported to all relevant parties. And that's for us before like giving their deposit back. Are we? Yeah. Okay. Equipment returned after the grace period will be subject to late fees. Okay. I feel like this should just be in a different order because it's confusing. Because it's talking about their grace period and our inspection grace period. I don't know.
So do you want to make a comment possibly saying that make it into 2 different sections instead of just one?
Yeah. I guess our inspection period isn't a grace period. I guess maybe that's just the main issue.
Yeah.
No, I read that as the equipment returned after the grace period. The grace period being that 14-day period they have to return after.
Right. It just this part that says
Yeah, I
like,
think
see my mouse?
after the
Following the return of the equipment, a grace
Oh,
period
it
of
says
30
grace
days.
period again.
Yeah, and I
Got
don't
it.
think that should say grace period.
honestly, I feel like it should just be like a separate section that,
Yeah.
talking about the inspection portion of it.
What is happening? All right. Equipment is considered. Oh, wait. We don't need to reread that. Let's see. What does this say? Any damage that becomes apparent at the next actual use of the equipment at the event or during the rental by another partner that was not visible at the inspection will remain the responsibility of the last partner to borrow that equipment. Okay. I mean, we wanted that added. I still don't know how feasible it is. I don't know.
It's something that probably won't actually happen, but it's a fail safe in case it does.
Yes, Nick?
Is there? I mean, I guess there should be like they're held responsible to help pay or to pay for the damages if it is damaged. But should there also be something about like I guess there's only 2 partnership levels, but would we just still keep the partnership level at the higher of the 2 if that something like this actually happened? Or
Oh, I don't want to deal with upgrading and downgrading partners. That
Yeah, I
sounds
think that
hard.
should be a blanket across all.
Yeah. Who was first? Let's see. It was Allie.
And just to cover like the usage of this would be something like with the radios that we used to rent out, where it was several months before the damage was discovered.
Right. Well, but that damage should have been caught on
It
inspection.
could have been. It
Right.
wasn't. This would cover
Yeah.
something like that. So
Mhm.
I would say it would still be a good policy to have in there. Like was mentioned, a good fail-safe to have in place.
Yeah. Jeanette?
So I'm just wondering if I were a returning partner or the borrowing partner, what type of communication or what kind of report would I get from your inspection period? Like, I mean, at this point,
Yeah,
it's like, hey, we inspected it, but now you're still liable potentially.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like we say you give us the equipment back, and we're gonna take 30 days to inspect that equipment before we give you your deposit back, but then 6 months later, I don't know. But we
Yeah,
can keep it, and it's just
I feel like there should be a statute of limitations on that because if something is rented out and then, say something's rented out in May and we don't discover it again until the actual next show, I would find that a little bit just kind of a issue with that because if you're not fully testing your equipment beforehand, it should be it should
like who
be
knows?
discovered.
Maybe a mouse got into it at the storage locker or something. I don't know. It's
Right.
very unlikely, but so I honestly think that this paragraph doesn't actually make sense. Because if we're taking 30 days to inspect it and we're going to make sure that it works as part of the inspection, then
I
this
would
doesn't really
say
make sense.
on the damage thing, maybe adding something at the discretion of the board or con chair's approval. JC, as a con chair event, do you have buy-in with that, or what's your thoughts?
Sorry, we're just talking about sort of how long we have to inspect or claim damage.
So basically, it's like, so someone turns something back into us, and we, during our 30-day inspection, don't find anything wrong with it, and we give them their deposit back. But then the next time we go to use it, we find out that it is damaged.
Yeah.
then we're holding them accountable. But I feel like that's really sketchy because we're saying, okay, we got this back. Here's your deposit back. Everything is fine. And then 6 months later, we're like, oh, we're trying to use this now and it's broken.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think the 30-day deposit is a good idea. I think having that security for the people we're partnering with helps them a lot. And then if we do want to throw something else in there that just kind of covers us in,
Like that's what this paragraph that I have highlighted right now. That's what this paragraph is. But I'm just like, I don't love it. But
Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, I don't have brilliant ideas at the moment.
Okay,
You are muted,
You're
my
on
dear.
mute.
Sorry, if I'm being honest, I feel like this paragraph kind of negates that 30-day grace period because it's our responsibility to properly test the equipment and make sure there are no issues within those 30 days. But that's just how I see it.
Yeah, and it's hard because it's hard. Some things can't be tested in the way that we're truly going to use them.
Right.
And so I do feel like some kind of something here, and maybe just make it vague and hope we don't need to use it, but if the case arises where we do, we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, putting something in there going, if features are unable to be tested during the 30-day grace period, should anything not work at the next event that it is used at, it is held responsible by the last person who rented it. So then it's in there going, we understand that most of the features we can test during that 30-day grace period, but if for some reason it's something that can't be tested because it really only makes sense when it's in use during said event, whatever that may be, most of the stuff we have can be tested though. So like,
yeah. So then keep this the way that it is.
Yeah.
Should we change it from the event to anime detour, or are we okay with the event?
Yeah, either way on that. I would say maybe if you're gonna add anything, maybe any damage not reasonably discoverable that becomes apparent at the next actual use of the equipment. Right? A little more, again, confidence for the person renting it, but something, again, we can point to if it actually comes up.
That works. I like that. Jeanette.
I guess I'm looking at it as if I was a new partner, borrowing this equipment and found out, it's not working. Like, how do you know that person didn't damage it or something? So I think I'm just like, how there's no guarantee that your equipment coming back is tested in a manner that that it will be usable for the next person or parties, borrowing it. I think that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like a speaker. Like, how would you know that by the time you go to rent it and it's not tested?
Well, we should be testing it. I don't know that we can test a speaker. We probably can. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to hold that on the new person that just got it, though. Then it would go back to the last person because that's presumably they'll tell us right away, hey, I can't get this to work.
And we do have stuff. I don't know if we've gotten to it yet, but we do have a whole form for when you get it, you do the thing you do when you rent a car.
Yeah.
And you go, all right, here's the condition I got this in, and you fill it all out. So.
Lori.
I do get Jeanette's point though, because if say there are two events that are borrowing it, and the second event says, hey, we got it broken, and the first event says, well, we didn't give it back broken,
Well, the second event, they should have tested it when they picked it up from us. Like, we should ensure that it's working when they get it.
Yeah, that I guess that part is not clear.
Yeah, that's later.
Oh, okay, it's later. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Oops, I didn't have to.
Yep, okay.
I
Like,
meant
I
to
see
hit.
you just tried to put your hand down. Yep. Okay, so payment terms look like they've been very simplified, which is good. I believe they are basically identical to each other, except for the deposit amount is different between the two, which is what I wanted. Good?
Yep.
Good. Wonderful. So rental request form, equipment rental agreement, deposit amount, maintenance fee, grace period, late fees. Rental period will begin on receipt of equipment. Oh, Allie crashed out. She said she was having electricity issues today. Okay, inspection. The leasing agrees to participate in an inspection of the equipment at the time of receipt, noting the condition of all equipment. On the date of the return of the equipment to the lessor, an inspection. Okay, again, I don't think it should be called a grace period. Um, 30 days shall begin where it is the responsibility of the lessor to inspect the equipment and report any changes, damages, or loss of function to both Anime Twin Cities, the leasee, and to other responsible parties. Leasee must be invited to participate in the return inspection, but is not required to attend. Anyone good? Good.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me.
In the event of damage, loss, theft, or destruction of the equipment, the leasee agrees to immediately notify the lessor responsible for the full cost of repair as determined in good faith. Okay, I like that. Maintain insurance coverage. Proof of insurance shall be provided upon the request of rental. Yep.
Okay. Looks good.
All right. Yes, Nick.
Just have a couple things or questions, or I went over the entire thing and sent like a version with comments on some different stuff. Some of it's
Oh,
just very small,
wasn't
like
this the
grammar
one
things.
that I was in? Oh, no, I clicked on their link. Well, but I thought this was. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yep. So yeah, I can just go over like anything that wasn't hit on. So I guess like just an overall one is like, so I guess we're good with like, it's pretty much just the only thing that they'd be paying is like a deposit of a portion of the value of it to in order to rent it, and then like they would get that back. And the only thing is like there would be late fees if they were late, or if they like it was lost, then they would have to cover damages. But we're not like wanting to get like any like payment or to be paid for anything. It's just more like something in case they don't return it, or like a deposit.
Well, there
that'll
is
go back.
a maintenance fee.
So
So the
it's
maintenance fee, but it's basically completely up to the department for how much they want to charge for that. Which I think should be something. It shouldn't be $0 because we are dealing with wear and tear and volunteer hours time. So the org should get something out of it. But we kind of just left it open. And I guess I don't know if we should address that or just leave it open.
Jeanette had her hand up first.
Yeah.
Would you be able to scroll back down to those inspection forms at the end, please?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a manifest. I don't know. I guess working in medical, there's a lot of initials, or I didn't know if you have an inbound, outbound version of this, or you would use the same one for inbound, outbound. So
Yeah, I believe
whether-
Cass's
so,
note was this is really simplified and we could definitely make
Yeah.
a more complicated one.
yeah, something where it's like, you know, this is the piece of equipment that you rented. This is also what's coming back, and then you might know, oh, hey, you forgot something that we distinctly rented to you. Excuse me, and just whether it's initials or something like that of who's doing the inspection or who's doing the checkout, that kind of thing. So I mean, it's still a draft at this point.
Basically, just
Yeah,
like a
we have to
QA,
clean it up.
QC kind of sign off,
Yeah.
basically. Okay.
hmm Yeah, I guess having like initials from both the leasee and the leaser about that.
Yeah.
Like we all looked at this together. Is that kind of what you mean?
I guess
Yeah.
I help return trucks. So the whole idea that when we return a truck, that you have, you're signing a form
Right.
that you both agree, hey, the mileage that we're returning it, or hey, when there's damage, or like when we rent a car. Let's use that kind of example. So the whole idea, there's signatures and initials on both the outbound and the inbound copies of the rental agreement. So just my thoughts for these for the future.
Okay.
Before Nick, Bruce, did you have your hand up?
So we kind of touched on it a little bit. Christina, could you, once you get done typing that, could you just scroll up just a little bit further?
Yep.
Oop, scroll back down. It was more so on the signatories.
Okay.
So this is more so maybe of a clarification on my part, or just kind of throwing a hypothetical. So here's an example that I, as in my animated BrassCon role, want to rent the Solidcom headsets or whatever. Then in my role as group manager, because when we're talking about the leasee, is that the person who is picking it up or the actual person that's going to be renting it? Because when we talk about that in regards to the inspection period, in that case, I wouldn't be able to be present at any of them just due to the fact that I am actually out of state. So that was just more of a clarification that would be curious about.
So I think lessee and lessor generally refer to the organization and not any specific person, but
Okay.
Also coming in and out, quite honestly.
And we could maybe add representative signature, because you're gonna have, I don't know, Tristan pick them up for you, and he needs to sign the paperwork because he's the one actually physically there.
Okay,
or
that's
something.
kind of that's the only clarification I kind of want, because it's essentially what it would be. It'd be
It's
Tristan most likely picking it up, and then I'd be coordinating with him. I'd inspect everything before it comes back, provide any photo evidence type of stuff, and then work with Tristan in case there are any issues. So that's just kind of the only thing I had to, after kind of looking at stuff, I wanted to get slight clarification.
Yeah, honestly, the easiest way to handle it is probably keep it signature and then just add a line for organization.
Okay.
Or
Well,
on
and
behalf
so, and I
of.
mean, for the lease, the leaseor is Anime Detour,
Right.
and you're signing on behalf of that, JC, and then the leasee would be Nebrascon. Like, so are we gonna like e-file this over to the Nebrascon chair for them to sign, or?
I mean, you don't need to e-file, just email. Just
Well,
scan it
yeah.
to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then maybe we would only need the representative like initials on like these the check in and check out. They wouldn't need to like sign the contract, because the contract isn't.
Now, in terms of stuff, and I'll just throwing this out there, so I, as a director at Animated BrassCon, can execute a contract, regardless of the actual con chair not being present. So that's why when you mentioned con chairs, like at our org, we don't necessarily need to do that, but okay, that's fine.
Well, and for us, I don't remember, JC. Can your vice chair sign contracts? I feel like we decided that they could. I don't remember.
We had decided that JC is allowed to designate somebody to sign off on. If it is over $500, it needs to be signed off on by the board and approved.
I think 5,000, but yeah.
5,000. Yeah, whatever the 5 number was. I think 1,000 is correct, but
think that is correct. Also, 5,000 is actually laughably small. Almost every contract we have is over 5,000. Just FYI.
Okay,
Nick.
we can come back to that. Yeah, Nick.
So yeah, I guess if we could scroll up to the top, some of it's just like more points just to add a comment on a change. Like the fourth paragraph just mentioned, and on the first page, fourth paragraph, it just mentions that this is the first draft. So just adding a comment to make sure that that part's updated to the introduction and scope.
Do we want to let Nick get through his whole list first, or do you have something specific about this part, Bruce?
Wasn't necessarily that. I was just gonna say, are we gonna put? Would it not hurt to put at the bottom of it a version control kind of thing, basically saying, you know, version 1.0, and then if there are updates, specifying the updates when they're changed, that type of thing. That's all.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
That makes
We
sense.
can do that. Yeah. Okay.
Easy enough to do.
And I can provide an example if you guys want clarification of that.
Now, I think that's
All
helpful too. Again, the idea here is that we'll do this with the same partner year after year, and so if they notice, like, oh, that's a different version, I should make sure I know what's different.
Okay.
Got on page 3, it mentions 3 levels of relationship, so change that to 2 levels of relationship. It's in like the second bullet point at the top of page 3.
Okay.
What page is this? Page 5, I think. It mentions equipment's not returned by the end of the late fee period. I assume there should only be one end of, not two end of the late period. Or
Is it up here or is it down?
it's up a little bit. It's the, where is it? Let me know. It's right above the any damage. Yeah, equipment is not returned by the end of. It's like near the bottom of what you're looking at. It's above the any like that bottom paragraph, 2 bullet points above it.
Equipment is not returned by the end of. Oh. The end of the
Equipment
late fee.
is not by the end.
Should
of
it just be equipment is not returned by the end of the late fee period?
I think so.
Let's see. On page 8, I think it's the equipment rental agreement template. I guess some of this maybe is just completely going to change because a lot of it mentions Anime Twin City as the lessor. So maybe all of this should not be Anime Twin Cities, and anything regarding that should just be called Anime Detour instead. If
Well,
that's what we're going with.
so I guess technically we own, we own all of the equipment. It's all Anime Twin Cities equipment. We're just having JC be in charge of it because it makes more sense that way, right? It just does. Okay.
So I guess it's just maybe a comment then noting whenever the lessor is mentioned, or I guess swapping if Anime Twin Cities is ever mentioned in this to the lesser, and I guess anywhere where it makes sense that it's Anime Twin Cities to have that be what it references.
Yeah. If we do want to get both names on there, you can also do a DBA, Anime Detour, doing business as.
We're just going to put that on the top.
That's pretty much it. Just comments related to that. Everything else we pretty much hit on there. It's super minor.
I want to go back to the first point that you made then. All right. So maintenance fee right now is determined per equipment by department. Do we want to set a minimum? Because okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think we should rent stuff for free. I think we should at least get something No, what that should be, I don't know. But something. I guess we could just put not $0, and then if someone wants to be cheeky and just charge someone $1, then so be it. But
You know, it makes sense to have something,
mhm.
but it's hard to gauge what a good minimum would be because
Like,
it's
yeah, really, but like if
so
you're
varied.
borrowing our pallet jacks, okay, I mean, whatever. But if you're borrowing our high-tech DJ board, I have literally no idea, then it should be more. I don't. I'm just gonna put not 0 because I feel like that's the only way we can.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to type here. I want to. But
Yeah, I don't know if we should. Well, I guess it'd be too much work to actually charge by hour. Maybe it could just be some estimate of how many hours in general a task would take, and then just some amount for that.
yeah, I
But
mean that's it. Like,
be
yeah, we
too-
could have like the minimum for the amount of time this is going to take us to send someone to the locker and pull
For
the
your comment,
equipment, do the inspection. Yep.
for your comment, I would make sure not instead of just saying not 0, say minimum must not be 0 or
Oh,
something
yeah.
along
I
those
mean,
lines.
that's not how I'm gonna write it on it.
There must be at least a nominal fee.
Yeah, those words.
I like mine better though.
I kind of do too, quite frankly, but
Would we want to?
Yes, Bruce? Or was someone else first? I
We've
don't.
lost a couple people. Michaela had her hand up a while ago, and then it was Jeanette, and then it was Bruce. But Michaela's shaking her head, so Jeanette is also shaking her head. Go ahead,
Okay.
Bruce.
I was just gonna say, do we want to throw in like one of the formulas for basically depreciation expense, which is basically just the cost of the asset minus salvage value divided by useful life, and
No,
that can
that's too complicated.
I agree.
okay. But typically
if
speaking,
if tech wants to set that up as their maintenance fee amount,
that's
by
not.
all means.
I
But,
mean,
yeah.
the way that typical organizations would kind of determine the maintenance fee is basically to help offset the depreciation costs to a certain degree. I do agree it should just not be 0,
hmm
but it should be something, but not super extravagant either. So
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't want to charge someone $300 to borrow our pallet jacks. That would be stupid. Like I don't know. So yeah, just determined per equipment by department. You can't just not do it. You can't just not charge them. Okay, that was the only thing that I had. Anyone else? All right.
Nothing else.
So I know tech wants this done. So I think I should try, or we should try, to get this all actually updated so it's not full of, strike throughs and red text and that stuff in the next 2 weeks. And we could just vote on it over email once it's done and put it through. Does that sound good?
that's fine by me.
Yes, Jeanette?
So we're doing the vote.
Oh, you're doing the vote thing.
Oh.
Okay.
So
How about
I was just curious as treasurer. So who are checks made out to the Enemy Twin Cities?
Mhm.
Is that written in here? Do people have an understanding of who is going to be dealing with the transaction? And
I don't think it's in here anywhere. It
because I'm
might
like,
be.
you talk about
But
payment,
yeah, I
but
know.
who and where and who, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just curious now.
So yeah, it's not like we're gonna have the square reader on site. So it's probably gonna have to. Well, you can invoice people, can't you? Have you tried that?
Does the convention have a PayPal or anything of that sort? Because if you do have a PayPal, you can actually invoice that away.
Yeah, we have PayPal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
then
yeah,
I would
we could invoice via PayPal or have them write us a check.
okay. Then I would say we would have to pull in the financial
treasurer.
operations assistant too at some point, or
Yeah,
would
I
I
can't
always
remember
be
if the
involved,
other
or
people like doing it.
I don't know. This is ATC, but then is this potential enemy detour? Where the lines
Hmm.
get crossed? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
This is definitely a blurred line.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say I actually do lean towards this being Jeanette rather than
agree.
financial operations officer, whatever it is.
'cause it's not really
Um,
during con.
What's that? Yeah, it's
Well,
not during con, and it's more about our partnerships, which I feel like is more kind of ATC ambit than Detour specifically.
Yeah, I guess I was just concerned with, like, are they mailing it to our PO box, or it's at no point in this policy, so that's where I wasn't quite sure. Like,
yeah.
where do I need to be checking for monies, or can it? If it can be digital, great. That's even better.
Yeah, I would say approved forms of payment, PayPal, wire transfer, check kind of being the last.
Wire transfer. Who wants to set up a wire transfer?
We have it set up for some things, at least on NEPCON. You'd
Yeah.
be surprised some people still use it.
Yeah. Well, what's the clearinghouse thing? The ACH. or
ACH.
something? Yeah. So whether you can, I mean, we have all the banking information. If they can just,
Yeah.
send it directly that way. However, I just was wondering, it's not physically
Yeah.
like written in there.
Yeah, no, it should be, and we should know how it's supposed to work before it starts. So, okay, so
And then-
those three options: invoice via PayPal, ACH, or write us a check.
And
Yep.
Christina, I would just put a line before that just saying these are the, specifying what this comment is about, at least, or whatever.
I highlighted payment terms. How to pay.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Don't believe
All right.
so.
We'll get this cleaned up and done within 2 weeks somehow. I'll do it tomorrow. Doubt it. We'll see. All right. Then the other item on our agenda tonight is just updating all of our policies. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them today, I don't think, but we're going to at least start. So the first one that's in here. Did you copy and paste all these into a Word document, Hope, or did I hallucinate that?
No, I did. It's pinned in the resources on the board.
Okay, let me just go to that.
Okay. Again,
Yeah, Bruce?
I need to step away just momentarily. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me find it in the resource to the board. Okay. Oh, I shared a specific tab. I didn't share the window. Ugh, terrible. Alright. Mhm. All right. So there are some very old and out of date policies on here. Obviously, this minor badge price from 2019 is no longer valid, I don't think, or 2013.
Because minor is now 45, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does
Well,
it?
and then this says starting 2019. That must have been a typo.
Yeah.
Because it's from
Well,
2013.
It was saying this policy of the $40 flat rate. Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably about to go up to 50 as well. This is a thing we'll be discussing.
Yeah.
More,
Well, and that was the other thing. It was just like, as far as I can tell, like we never like gave the chair approval to set pricing, but why wouldn't we?
I don't know. I've been assuming I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not currently, but definitely something that we could adjust. So I feel that the policy can be removed, and then
Yeah.
we can instead. You don't need the top line highlighted.
You're right. I don't.
We can instead do the giving the board allows the chairperson and their team to designate, however we want to phrase it, designate the badge rates for the year, the coming cycle. For sure, get rid of that one because I know a little bit farther down.
There's more talk about.
There's more pricing for.
What is the right word? Rescind policy? Is that the right word?
What was the?
I was like, I had typed "get rid of this policy," but what's the correct word? Is rescind the correct
Rescind
official
is good.
term?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
December would be fine.
All right. So rescind that one. I feel like I don't want to vote on these one at a time. I think we can vote on them all at the end.
Right.
Does that
Yeah.
sound okay? Okay. All right. So this is sure. This is already in place, so that's good.
Right.
We got rid of the cap and the coordinator fixed that. Okay. The community fund is a whole thing, and I feel like I hate how this is formatted.
That's a whole different ball of wax that we need to
Yeah.
review.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that one, I think.
And some of these aren't even actual like policies, and it feels more like just notes of what they did during the
Yeah.
meeting.
So publish financial summary, pie charts, and blurb. So yeah, like that's not a policy.
Right, that's not a policy.
If this is a policy, I don't know where it is.
Um,
Did we write a new one?
I don't think we've written a new one.
Okay.
It's definitely something that we should
Revisit.
and just update to be current with the times.
Where are agenda notes, policies, documents, bylaws, tax returns? I'm just looking to see if I can find the anti-harassment policy. It might be on Anime Detour.
Right, and a lot of this was blended like
Yeah.
that. So I don't know if Anime Twin Cities specifically has one. I haven't been able to find it. If we do,
Policies. Autograph photo harassment policy. Sort of here.
right on the Anime Twin Cities, or Anime Detour, which is great.
Right.
But we're now starting to do more active community things, so we should have one as an Anime Twin Cities.
Okay.
Which is going to be easy enough to do. I don't know where. I'm pretty sure the one that was approved from Rin was the Detour one.
Yeah. This Anime Detour logo permission is fine.
Yep, that makes sense. That would also make sense.
Yeah. And basically they get published in the board notes. So I think that's fine.
Wouldn't that also be sort of a moot point because it's within the bylaws now for the board procedure for voting?
Well, so is this talking about election voting, or it's talking about what happens during our meetings?
I think it's what happens during our meetings, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know if that's in the bylaws. Doo-doo-doo.
Okay, my cat is going crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the bylaws. And also, I think it's perfectly fine policy. So, I mean, we can probably leave it.
Oh, that's not
Alcohol-free policy. Isn't there another policy that says alcohol-free is no longer a policy? Yeah.
Well, I think it's
Yeah. I mean, it's like alcohol is
Yeah.
allowed to be at specific things, but I'm trying to think on where the alcohol-free policy would have even
so
been.
there is an ATC policies PDF under the documents page, and I don't know if it's pertaining to this or not because it's rather old. It's like very basic, but it's
I
also
don't think so,
very
no.
clearly Anime Detour and not
Yeah.
Anime Cities.
Mhm. So I think we can rescind this one because it's just not a thing,
I mean, in
or no.
unless anybody else has any other viewpoints, it makes sense to well, because like
Well, because the problem is I don't even know what policy it's pointing to.
right,
It's
I
not
don't know
on the
what it's
website.
pointing to and what it's for. So
I guess I could research. I could look through the emails and see if it's in the emails. So I could just put research on it.
yeah, but my brain is going to, since we're now hosting events, especially since this next upcoming event is being held at a brewery, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to really have an alcohol-free policy without seeing what the policy entailed. So if we can't find it, it doesn't make sense to keep it on the website. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good call too. That maybe that should be reviewed before this next event comes up, which is again being held at a brewery. And I did have some ideas for some other events, which may also include alcohol. So it would be good to know what that is and how that may affect some of the events.
Well, and it's like, so the new policy that was just, what, last year? Alcohol may be provided by ATC for approved events,
Right.
including the industry mixer.
I think the 2014 one can be stricken
Yeah.
and
'cause we can
rescinded
put a new
since
one.
there is that one later on down the line that's more up to date.
All right. So, where was the first anti-harassment policy?
The first anti-harassment
Yeah,
policy
so
was
this one was 2013 1111, and then this one was 2014 1013. So a motion to vote on instituting policy with the understanding that coordinators will meet to create a form for handling complaints that they will review with the board once they have. Okay.
I mean, I feel if we're going to
Yeah, we'll just, because we put review, create new one on this last one, and I'll just
Right.
put that on this one. Any insurance claims must be voted on the board.
Which
Sounds
makes
good to
sense.
me.
Procedure and revising board notes.
We've redacted a legal situation and name. Those are the only times. If we're stating opinions on people, we should use initials. If we do not have a consent or they are not at the meeting. What the heck?
I feel like
This
a
is
lot
not a
of
policy.
right. This
Mhm.
a lot of things are looking, and I noticed this earlier prior to this session. A lot of things were just sort of felt like board notes that were put into.
I hear it. Yeah. Yeah. This is not a policy. So, okay. Vote on mission statement. Votes for change. Okay. I like our mission statement. It's fine.
Right, and again, this is more of a
Yeah, this
notation
is
of what they did,
yeah,
not an
isn't it?
actual policy.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Badge pricing. What did we do with the other one, or we just said we are gonna come back to it? Rescind this policy. Okay.
Yeah, because that one was specifically for. Well, that one is for the minor.
This one is for minors, and then this other one is like all of them. I'm pretty, or no, this is adult. This might be where we still are.
This is currently what we're at, and this is something that I feel that we could create a policy to give authorization to the anime detour coordinator to designate what the badge pricing should be, and then have them bring it forward to us to approve. I guess something that we could work out with JC in this case, but so that it makes sense for them to have that ability officially and not just
I concur. This is revoked. Okay, so Andy submitted a fully worded policy on branding procedure for ATC and other branches.
I have no idea where that is.
Right? We'd have to dig through the email. Ideation, development, and review and approve. Branding procedure. So, okay. But this is a board note. Why didn't you put what the procedures? This is not a policy. Sound good?
Yeah, because it's not an actual policy. It's stating that a fully worded policy was submitted, but we'd have to look and see if it's still around. Because that's definitely just a note.
Yeah. Equipment rental request.
I was just saying we're working on a whole branding guide right now anyway. So
I know.
This one can also be rescinded since we're redoing that anyway.
Yeah. And we definitely stopped doing it.
Right.
A while ago. I know. Motion to approve the concept of the policy indexing to be maintained by the secretary.
Again, not an actual policy.
Not a policy, yeah. Rescind this policy because we don't want to do this.
Right, because we're going to redo it so that the chair team has final say.
You know, I wonder if on this one, the typo was in the date. Because I think you just enter the date in manually.
Maybe.
Because it looks the same, like it's written the same way as this one.
Right.
From 2018.
And
all right.
Again, another rental policy.
150 for non-deposit, 200 for return. Yeah, all right. Okay. This policy was revoked. Bad prices.
Again,
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
registration rates is again another badge. Enemy detour specific one.
Mhm. Cancellation of board meetings must be approved by a vote.
That one makes sense.
Bylaws or something like.
Yeah, we
voting
have that in the
meetings and
bylaws.
stuff.
That's right.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
I think so. But, is there stuff about like waiving notice of a meeting? Let's see.
I don't know. Oh, here we go. All right. Regular meetings quarterly. Special meetings, annual meeting. I don't think it's in the bylaws because our bylaws are vague intentionally to let us do things that make sense.
Go back up to section D. It mentioned it right there.
Any director may at any time waive notice of any meeting of the board of, like, that doesn't talk about canceling a meeting.
We probably lost it with the rewrite.
I know you're talking.
Well, and it doesn't.
The policy.
You're really quiet, Kevin.
Be good to recreate the policy since we lost it with the rewrite
Well,
problem.
Yeah, okay
we
with
don't
that.
need to because it's right here. We still have the
Oh, yeah.
policy.
Yeah.
If you
I
guys
don't
like
think
this
we can.
policy, I like this, but it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
If we
no.
want to cancel it, we should decide together that we're gonna cancel it and not just, I don't know who would cancel it without everyone else's agreement.
Right,
So.
but
So that's fine. We can leave that one alone. So 5/7 or it sounds like some Kevin language right there. 5/7. I don't, this is fine. I don't care. Yeah, we also try not to change the dates of the meetings as well. Okay. So ambassador table discount. We're doing $10 right now.
yeah, currently it is 10.
So we need to update this policy? Or maybe there's a newer one, but I doubt it.
Well, we have
Also, it just needs to get taken out because
yeah.
the board doesn't want to be in charge of that.
Well, no, here's the thing.
Oh.
The board is in charge of ambassador table. That's
Yes.
under Ally. So it's something that
But it's for pricing.
Right, but the current one needs to be removed and then we can revamp it with whatever Ally deems is appropriate. But I'm like it. My cat is going crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Like I say, I commented on all of these. I mean, maybe it'd be different than what I comment on what we do, but I did everything up until I think the alcohol policy or whatever ones I was actually on the board when we made them.
Sure.
Right. Yep. So I for the attendance tracking and board meetings one.
Yeah, those are both good. Proposal that badges will be free. Staff that meet the requirements. Yep. No, because the requirements, sometimes we change them, and I think it's fine, and it's whatever the coordinator decides he wants. Within reason, JC, be reasonable. Coordinator, okay. Coordinator realignment. Is that a policy? That's not a policy, right?
Yeah, this could stay because it's literally just
It is a policy.
it's a policy. It's
Mhm.
indicating that the coordinator positions would be reduced from 5 to 4. Clubs are being merged into community. Although community isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah, there's been more coordinator realignment since then that I see, like, in my mind, this is a board note. We changed
Yeah,
this,
that's true.
but it's not a policy that we're, yeah. Is that this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a policy. All right, we're almost at the bottom. We can do this. If or when an anime detour badge is rolled over, the ATC membership and dues are included as well. Yeah, I think we can keep that. That's
Yeah, that
fine.
makes sense to keep.
Yeah. It was a thing for COVID, but it also sometimes happens for other reasons, so we'll keep it. Yeah. The ATC board of directors cannot dictate to any coordinator what the responsibilities of the, yeah. I don't know. This one is so contentious at this point in my life, but it's also fine because our coordinators are. Yes, Bruce.
Since we're specifying coordinators, it should actually be ATC that dictates, at least at high level, what their responsibilities are.
Well, so we dictate to the coordinator what their responsibilities are, but what this is saying is that we don't get to dictate to the coordinator what the responsibilities of their staff. That's what this policy was for. So, like, I can't go to the head of Volcon and be like, I'm the president and you're going to do what I want you to do.
Okay.
Because that's not how chain of command
Yeah.
works. I go to JC and say, hey, could you maybe have Volcon do this? And he can listen to me or not. But yeah. But I can
Stuff it
request
out your
things.
ear.
I don't dictate it. Yeah. I want Cheetos. Can we have Cheetos? So I think we keep this one. I think it's fine.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. It was written in a way that made sense, and just because people were annoying about it doesn't mean it wasn't still well written. Electrical, okay. This is a whole thing. I don't want to deal with it. I think it's probably fine and we don't need to deal with it, but I don't want to look at it right now because it's long, just like the Lake Fund one.
Well, too bad, so sad.
Okay.
Um,
Right now, well, we're coming back to the Lake Fund one another
I know,
time.
but
We
like,
can't
I'm
go
just
back
like,
to-
okay, fine, true. So add it to a will review, but
We'll review this one. We've got time.
yes.
What's this one? Is this? Oh, this is still the.
I think it's
ATC
part of the
policy.
same.
It just got moved to the next page. Okay. All right. So this is the updated alcohol policy, which we are fine with.
Updated contract, which we had talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, we did make it a policy. Yay us. Okay.
Yes. Yay past us. So it's, yeah, and then I didn't add the two other policies
because they're really long and we just
they're really
made
long
them.
and they were already approved by the board.
We got the conflict of interest policy and the whistleblower policy.
Yeah.
Okay. And the coordinator review policy. Okay. And and the ban list.
Like
I thought there was a harassment policy in there somewhere, but no.
Right.
So that's fine. Okay. We have gone through them.
And a good chunk of them are
right. So I think before the next meeting, we'll go through and write up all the things that we're going to rescind and what we want to replace it with, and then vote on that then.
Yeah, I'll clean it up.
Yeah, it's not organized enough right now to vote on it. Yes, Bruce.
Do we also, for the ones that we are keeping from the previous stuff, do we want to update their formatting to match the style that we're using with the ones that are already up on the site that we've approved?
Yeah, I'll rewrite
I
them.
mean, I feel like most of them don't need that format because they're way shorter.
Well, right, but still rewrite it so that it might just be a short little itty bitty thing, but so that it matches everything else and it's cohesive.
Yeah,
So
just
then are we going to resubmit it as a new policy as of the next board meeting date
No,
because we rephrased it? Or
no.
just
If you
formatting.
so go back to your web, go
okay.
back to the web page for the policy side. Scroll
Just so
down to
they
the
look
bottom.
like this.
Yeah, basically, so they just look the same as what the others are.
Okay.
That's all I'm just saying, because
Yeah, just the format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the content.
Yeah, no, content's fine. It's just that doesn't look pretty.
Yeah. Well, and the ones that get rescinded, though, they will still be on here because we're not supposed to delete anything, but we'll
Right.
strike through them.
Right.
We can format it so that there is rescinded policies down at the bottom and current policies up at the top so that
Theoretically, I don't actually know that we can do that with the website right now. I'm going to be
well,
honest with you.
I
It
meant,
just goes in order by date.
right. Well, yeah, but regardless, like we can
Mhm.
organize it differently so that content is still on the website, but it's clear distinction between what is current and what is not.
Kevin, in terms of the website development, if we were to make that shift where we put the rescinded policy at the bottom, how difficult is that?
Like, honestly, I like, because this is a table and you just submit stuff to the table. And I don't think we have any
okay.
I don't think we have any formatting options for it. So this winter is when Charles and I are going to try to overhaul this website. So
Okay.
then after that we probably could, but
Okay.
Well,
then
I've been
That's
waiting
fine.
for
I
life
can
to calm
I can
down, and
table
I'm like,
that.
you know what? Maybe life will calm down in the winter.
That's fine. I'm fine with tabling that aspect then.
Yeah.
So
We'll have it set and ready so that when you do have a set ability to do that, it's just copy paste.
Yeah. All right. So cleaning up the policies, we'll get something written about letting the coordinator tell us that they want to change badge prices, and we just approve it, or and I'm sure we will. Anything else that we want to talk about tonight?
Open session.
Open session. Yeah. That's what I get for closing my agenda because I had too many tabs open. So if anyone has anything they would like to discuss with the board, please let us know now. And I will sit here for a little bit. How many people are watching? 7. One of them is me. One of them is Lori. We could play with filters again.
No.
Okay.
you can also stop sharing your screen if you want to.
That's fair.
Everything goes dark.
Oh, I was about to become a puffer fish again.
No.
Okay. I think that's long enough. Well, I guess here we'll wait for the stream to show that I stopped sharing my screen.
There you go.
And then it will happen. Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, then I will go ahead and call the end of the meeting as of 8:19 p.m. this lovely evening.
I've got fun little dolls for Obone.
Oh,
Fun.
nice.
Second, the closing of the meeting, should that be required? I don't remember
Yes.
if it does be required.
Right.
Here we are.
Okay. Meeting over.
Alrighty.